Here, I'm going to let you guys talk amongst yourselves for a couple of seconds while I finish off my coffee, which I recommend you doing. Couple of seconds. There we go. Hopefully you can hear that sweet sound of coffee on the espresso machine over there. So I'm bringing up your comments here. So if you see me looking down, reading, I'm reading your comments. One other thing just before we get rolling, because I haven't done a live video for 2 weeks. No, not 2 weeks, 2 months I haven't done a live video. You can only comment as a subscriber. So if you're wondering why your comment's not getting through, it might be because you're not subscribed. And that's just the way it is. It works best like that. My image quality is not very good here. Why is that? It's a bit frustrating. Let me know if what you're getting is good image quality. And I might be able to do something about that. I don't know. We will see. My coffee is ready. I'm just going to go pick it up. Yeah, looking at the image here, it's all blurry. Are you guys getting a blurry image? It's a bit unfortunate. Cheers, by the way. Suzanne, had a good chat to you this morning. And we're covering one of your favorites, aren't we, Suzanne? I'm really glad you guys could join me for this live video. I'm out of practice at live videos, so I do need to get back to them. Yeah, as I say, it's been 2 months since I've done a live video, so it is good to be back. Keith Moon. I mentioned in one of the videos, I can't remember which one of the reactions it was, that one of my favorite tutors at university, at music school, Dr. Stephen Small, I believe he called Keith Moon one of only two complete natural talent, if you like, if you want to use that word talent. I don't think he used the word talent, just a complete natural musician. And I think this is going back. And I think at the time, I might have had a quick listen, like The Who, oh, that's old rock, whatever. Go and have a listen, then I might have put on a song or two, God knows what, and just gone, I don't get it. What is this mess? So to sit down with an open mind and open ears and critically listen now is invaluable for me. And at this point, I sort of need an excuse, or I need to almost be forced in a weird way to actually sit down and spend some quality time listening with no preconceptions. I've been critiqued before for not doing my homework, right? Not doing my homework before a reaction. You should know who the bassist is, John Entwistle. How can you not know who that is? And you should be knowing this, you should know that. I look at it the opposite. I like to go in and not know anything and just look at the music and just look at the drumming on its own merits. I actually don't like to have preconceptions or an idea of, oh, well, Keith Moon, this guy's crazy, he's so explosive, he does all these stunts, and then watch Keith Moon. I want a surprise, and I would assume that's what most people want when they watch the channel. They want to see me discovering something, right? Anyway, we've got heaps of comments coming in here. Maybe album cut of Won't Get Fooled Again. Might have to be The Who Keith Moon Week 2. Sorry. Suzanne Lash. I'm going to bring up my Who playlist. In fact, I will link the Who playlist that I've created so you guys can check it out. It is a bit of a mixed bag, I must admit, the Who playlist. Way back at the start of when I started doing reactions on the channel, I did My Generation, and then I did My Generation Isolated. Both videos got blocked, available to the patrons for you guys. And what I did, what I thought would be good, would be, okay, the video's blocked, so I can't play any of the My Generation, the song. So what I thought would be good is to share my reaction and take out the music. Man, I got roasted for that. Where's the music? I can't put it up, it's blocked. Where's the music? Why aren't you putting the... So, hey. Playlists. I am gonna link my Who Keith Moon playlist. I was having a good chat to Finesse Muse and Suzanne Lash this morning over Facebook Messenger, and I brought up something that one of you guys, one of the subscribers brought up, and that is that Keith Moon and John Bonham died at the same age. Can you believe that? 32. Just tragic. Absolutely tragic. Far too young. Right, gonna get this link here for the Who playlist. The playlist so far. Link it in the live chat comments, and I will pin it when the video's finished. Anyway, back to the comments. Benny Boy, I might brew a decaf since it's 10 p.m. here. Well, it's 9 a.m. here. I'm very sleepy. So we're going full double. Oh, that's good brew. That's a good brew. Joseph Flake saying it looks okay. Okay, that's good. I wonder why I'm getting such a bad image. Anyway. Richard Plant has put a link to last live performance by Keith Moon. I've got a weird thing about last performances. Elvis's last concert. This guy's last concert. Jeff Buckley, last concert. Foo Fighters, last concert. It's just so bloody sad, isn't it? I guess it's there as a document, like for all of us, just to relive it as many times as we can, I suppose. One thing with links, and someone else hit me about this, was, hey, why do you keep deleting my comment with a link in it? That's not me. That's a YouTube thing. Maybe I could change that in settings. I'm not sure, but get this light a bit better. But yeah, YouTube seems to block links, and I think Richard Plant, you're saying here you put a link, but it's not showing up. What have we got here? Benny Boy, I still love that Keith was responsible for that famous explosion video. The story behind it is hilarious. Yeah, I read about that on the at the start of the Who week, and I need to check out that video, obviously. All of those antics, they must have been pretty original at the time, with broadcasting standards of the day and people's sensibilities circa mid-60s. But yeah, I mean, now, if a band did that now, if a drummer did that now, not only would you obviously get fired, but it'd just probably be, I don't know. It's been done, hasn't it? Oh, we've got some recommendations. Bellboy Live in 75. Yenlard66, maybe see me, feel me from Woodstock. Dean Jarvis, I would save the Shepperton video for last, for obvious reasons. We do have another Shepperton video coming up tomorrow, just to let you guys know. Jeremias, oh, what's happened here? Jeremias Esteban, hi Andrew! Dean Jarvis, the 75 Houston and Charlton videos are good. Okay. Justitia? Ciao, Andrew. Ciao, chat from Sicily. Ciao. Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? You think of like the 60s, the Brit pop rock invasion of the 60s and going into the 70s. It was always the British bands, wasn't it? It was always the British drummers. Who was first? Well, Ringo, I guess. Then Moon, maybe. Then Bonham. Then Bill Ward at the same time. Although I don't know if most people consider Bill Ward part of that invasion type thing. Bill Ward, Ian Pace, Deep Purple. God, there's a few, right? Mitch Mitchell is a guy I don't hear talked about. I am not that big a Jimi Hendrix guy, but every time I hear Mitch Mitchell on anything, I am blown away. I don't know if I'd compare Mitchell to Keith Moon. I feel he's a bit closer in the lineage, in these various branches branching off this tree. I feel he's a bit closer to Bill Ward, Mitch Mitchell. Back to the chat, because I am ranting. Dean Jarvis. Whoa, this is moving fast. Whoa, hold on. A quick one from the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus. Is that a Keith Moon thing? A quick one is Out of This World. Okay, Lucy Milan. Oh, everybody's chipping in with a quick one. Remind me in the comments, so it's not just scrolling in the chat. Remind me in the comments about this, if this is that good. Lucy Milan, Ringo and Moon were besties. Ringo's son became the Who's drummer. Right. Richard Plant, the entire Quadrophenia album is a drum tour de force. Absolutely unleashed Keith on that album. Mean Metal Mike, check Who Are You by The Who. It was Moon's last studio performance. Again, with the last this, the last that. Man, it's crushing. 32 years old. And the wear and tear on your body and your mind and your soul from being a proper rock star. It's questionable whether we actually have rock stars these days, other than the big obvious ones like Dave Grohl, but legit original rock star, like the classic party hard, tearing up hotel rooms, traveling constantly, and all of this before 32. As Yenlard66 just said here, 32 going on 60. Yep. I mean, right, he did not look 32 by the end there. As with Bonham, I look at Bonham and I just think, man, this is... Style has a part of this, of course, but... yeah, 32. Edward Cameron says, listen to Fire by Jimi Hendrix. Amazing drumming from Mitch Mitchell. Oh, man, I'm telling you. I feel he's a bit like Keith Moon in that, probably underestimated. Mitch Mitchell, man, I need to do like a full breakdown on him. He is one of these people that I haven't really ever dug into, as I say, because the classic rock was just not my bag at all before doing these videos. But every time I hear him, I just think, man, it's fire. Like the track, it is just undeniable fire. Maria, hey, love you. Love you too, Maria. But I do feel the need to see other people. Richard Spate, Heaven and Hell from Isle of Wight. Moon at his absolute best. Mitch tried out for the Who. What? Come on. Come on. Really? I didn't read about that. Lucy Mellon, you said my name perfectly. Yes. Right. Iwa, what kind of music did you play? That's a good question because a lot of people have said, hey, you don't know this band, you don't know that. My favorite drummers were the session guys growing up. And that's kind of what I was hoping to be, or I guess modeling my playing on as the famous session drummers. my favorite drummer being Jeff Porcaro from Toto, who was a session giant and played on thousands of albums for different people. So my, I guess, learning and my listening was a little bit weird because it often went off the player and following the act that they played on. This could be another video as well, sort of explaining this. In saying that, my CD collection is boxes and boxes and boxes of CDs, hundreds of them, if not thousands. Grunge was a big part of my life. Hair metal, come on now, was a big part of my life. Jim Gordon, Mark Weeks, Jim Gordon of Derek and the Dominoes was the best session drummer of all time. Hard to argue that. Now, my favorite drummer, Jeff Porcaro, his idol was Jim Gordon. Now, for the people out there who say, how can you not know the Who? Black Sabbath? What you might not realize is these drummers, so your Jim Gordons, your Jeff Porcaros, your Hal Blaines, they played on thousands of songs, thousands. You probably can't listen to all these tracks in your lifetime. There's just so many of them. So it's just a different, if we're talking quantity and how did you not get to this, how did you not get to that, it's the same from my side in terms of, you know, how can you guys not be listening to this? This is so good. Even though it might be a band that you're not necessarily into, but the personnel is so good on the recording. Anyway. Mean Metal Mike, Phil Rudd said back in 1996, he got to meet Moon and he has one of Moon's Gretsch snare drums. Wow, beautiful. Mark Weeks, Gordon would spend all day in an LA studio, then fly to Vegas that evening. Yeah. Yeah, Ewa, thanks for the question and thank you. Jim Gordon, if you guys don't know the story of Jim Gordon, it is absolutely tragic. He was the top of the game, and ended up, believe it or not, killing his mother with an axe or a hammer. As it turned out, I believe he was a paranoid schizophrenic and hadn't been treated appropriately, and it's just, I believe did he recently pass away, or is he still alive in prison? This is in the early 80s. I believe this happened in 81. Oh no, he died this year, 13th of March. That's right, of course I remember that. Tragic, absolutely tragic. Jim Gordon, you might not know his name, you've heard his drumming. Check out, if you guys want a hot pick, was it the Magnificent Bongo Band? Jim Gordon. Trust me, Google this, it's gonna blow your hair back. Bongo Band. Oh, what song is it? Apache. After this video, Google or put on Spotify, Incredible Bongo Band, Apache. Jim Gordon Pocket. You ain't never heard Pocket like it. One of the most sampled drum beats of all time. All time. Anyway, we're way off topic talking about Jim Gordon. But isn't it interesting how many of these people have a tragic life? It's just, there is something about the art and the artist and this true artistic person and approach to everything, right? I found it fascinating when I did that exhaustive, I guess, Wikipedia read through to start off the week, which, by the way, I knew that wasn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. And someone already did comment and say, oh, well, I could have just read the Wikipedia. Well, I know, but I thought, well, I'll share it with you and just we'll share this instead of me reading it on my own. What was my whole point? I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh, it was fascinating for me and sort of a bit of an insight for me to see that when the band wasn't playing, when they weren't on tour, and when they were inactive, that is when Keith Moon fell apart, or he would fall off the wagon. I've never known, is it fall, get on the wagon, get off the wagon? I got to admit, I could Google that, but I'm not going to. Now that tells you someone who is in the music. Oh, there we go. Lucy, on the wagon means sober. Thank you. I'll forget that after the video. But does that not tell you everything you need to know about Keith Moon? We've got this hyperactivity funneled, in this case, into music. It could have been into sport, could have been into mathematics, it could have been into any area, happened to be music. Combine that with ready access to alcohol, drums, all of the vices. Man, it's just so sad. And probably at a time when mental illness was treated with, I don't know about disdain. Might not have been taken seriously, might not have been able to even be accurately diagnosed. And, you know, and then you got things like, I tried to avoid like Moon the Loon and all that because, you know, there could be underlying, I'm sure there are underlying things going on. But yeah, that jumped out at me. Just that little bit in the Wikipedia entry that he struggled when they weren't playing. So you've got this ball of energy just ready to explode at any time, an endless supply of energy, and not on tour, not playing music. Where is that energy going to go? It's going to go somewhere, and it's probably going to be really destructive. Cheers. Moon named Led Zeppelin? Mark Weeks, tell me more. I'm not saying I'm a T-bird or a pink lady, but tell me more. Heiko Schwartz, a narcissistic personality. Yeah, full transparency and going into this with an open mind, open ears, and trying to be understanding and respectful. I find the trashing of instruments a total bore. That's just me. Was it original and effective? Probably. Probably. But looking at it now with 2023 eyes, I find it a complete bore, and that part doesn't interest me in the slightest, to be honest. It's a vital part of the whole package and the story, but it doesn't interest me. And doesn't impress me, I suppose. Lucy, Jimmy Page wanted Moon to be their drummer. God, that would have been interesting. Cass? Jeepers creepers. I'm going to have a go here. I'm going to give this a go. Cass Roodinkveldeboom said they could fly like a lead balloon, Moon on Zeppelin. Then changed it to Zeppelin from the Hindenburg accident. Mark Weeks, they were discussing forming a different band, and Moon said that would go over like a Led Zeppelin. They changed it to Led, LED, so it wouldn't be pronounced differently. Yeah, true. Led Zeppelin, yeah. Wow, this is great info. So you guys are chipping in as I read the comments, as I post a video this week, because I know so little about the band, I know so little defining characteristics of Moon's drumming. You guys are chipping in with comments that are much better and much more profound than what I'm coming up with. I'm trying to make sense of it, coming in cold, and you guys are coming in with some brilliant stuff in the comments of the videos, which I do read, by the way. D. Scott Johnston, huge salute, Andrew, from balmy Las Vegas, Nevada. 114 degrees right now. I'm going to convert 114 degrees Fahrenheit, you crazy Americans use. 45 Celsius? I believe 45 or 114 Fahrenheit, I believe that is the highest temperature ever recorded in New Zealand of all time. So, damn, that is hot. I was in Las Vegas in 2005, and it was beautiful. It was about 30 degrees, very, very dry, of course, being in the desert. And, oh my God, had the time of my life. What else we got here? You're talking about dry heat. Here we get really humid, damp. 30 degrees here, which I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. 86 Fahrenheit. Here in New Zealand is like you're swimming. Walking down the road swimming. It is so humid. It's like living in Thailand if we get up to that. Right. Speed of Thought, 1111. I wonder what you'll think of tracks like Happy Jack and Magic Bus. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get to this. Seeing as you guys have bothered to join me for this live chat, I'll tell you what's coming up tomorrow, by the way, because I have to edit it today. What have we got? This one I threw over to the patrons. And the patrons, in particular Finesse Muse, came back with Won't Get Fooled Again, Shepperton's Studio 1978. I am just so glad that over this week, we started 64, 65. Then today I dropped the one that was 1970, smack bang in the middle. And tomorrow we're going to finish up with 1978, right at the end. So it has accidentally worked out perfectly. And that is a lot of videos to create in a week, trust me. It's been a big week. Guys, we've just crossed over to 125,000 subs. Can you believe it? It's just unbelievable. Just going to confirm that. 125. And the latest video is a 1 out of 10, which means a lot of people are watching the latest one, which is Isle of Wight, Young Man Blues. Thank you guys so much for the support and reaching 125,000 subscribers. It's just crazy. I did an interview with Junk Drummer TV. Many of you guys will know Steve at Junk Drummer TV. And he didn't believe any of us drum guys would make it to 100,000 subs because drums were in a niche category, right? It's not like Vocal Teacher Reacts where you can do ABBA, and you've got that whole ABBA audience, and then you can do Bee Gees, and you're just covering such a wide range, because vocals, right? Vocals is for everybody. Drums ain't like that. You know, drums is niche. Drums is like a club, man. Something about drummers. They stick together. I mean, there's not going to be as wide an audience, but it's tight. And anyway, remember talking to Steve at Junk Drummer TV, and he said, man, no one can make it to 100, but we did it, and then we've gone beyond. So thank you guys. Wow, Mark Weeks, Who's Next is Geddy Lee's favorite album. Wow, that's huge. Oh, and thank you guys for saying congrats on the 125K. It really is not just a number either. I really appreciate it. You know, it's not, I do think, I read all the comments, you know, and I know some of you by name now. Like legitimately, you know, we'll have conversations, and yeah, so I try and keep it real in that regard. Giovini has commented, Alex DiPario, 2 million. Absolutely right. He's different. Alex DiPario, he's different because he is also not just capturing a drum audience. He's a worldwide phenomenon. It just happens to play the drums. And man, that guy, I guess in saying this, there's a lot of people who watch my channel who are not drummers. And everybody is welcome, of course. I should mention this live chat. I have to leave my house to take my boy out in 11 minutes. So just to let everybody know, it might have to be an abrupt ending when the time comes at 9:45 a.m. But I do have to leave sharp on then. Hot God 10, love your content, Andrew. First time watching you live from London, UK. Welcome and thank you. Robert Phelps. Keith Moon played on Beck's Bolero with Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, and Nicky Hopkins. I don't know that name. I don't know the name Nicky Hopkins. That sounds interesting. I have to check that out. D. Scott Johnston, 131 in Death Valley, 1931. Highest ever in continental USA. Let's do another conversion. Come for the Keith Moon chat, stay for the weather chat. 55 degrees Celsius, 131 Fahrenheit. Now that's just getting silly. That's when you can fry eggs on the pavement type stuff. Wow. But yeah, guys, I really do thank you all for joining in this chat. Keith Moon is still a bit of an anomaly for me. When I listen to Bonham is the most obvious one. He is the closest with regards to sounding to sort of what I try and do. Like Pocket, right? He is the closest to what I guess modern bands, modern drummers are trying to play like, I suppose, in general. And he's got a great sound. Bonham benefits from having a terrific recorded catalog. Hand on heart, I believe Bill Ward suffers a bit in that respect of it sounds, dare I say, a little bit amateur at times, the recording, and things are clipping and distorting, and they sort of struggle to capture the music. So Bonham is the most obvious and easiest to hear and to understand how good he is. Someone's put here, Giovini, Moon, Baker, Bonham, which order? Yeah, it's hard, right? Ginger Baker, that's a good comparison with Keith Moon. Very, very good, yeah. So Moon is down the list for me in terms of how easy it is to get into, to sort of understand. Ian Pace, obviously, you hear him and you realize this is a heavy dude because it's all language and vocab that you can relate to, that you understand. Bonham, very easy to understand. You hear Bonham and obviously he's good. He's good. Moon, complex. I noticed also, because it just made me think of Alvin Jones, who in the jazz world, he's complicated. And if you come into jazz cold, you might hear someone like Alvin Jones and go, what the hell is that? Like, I don't get it. And you're not supposed to, you know? He is complex and complicated and weird. Just plain weird. Thelonious Monk, right? Weird. You hear Bill Evans play the piano and you go, God damn, that is the most beautiful thing. I'm going to cry. Then you hear Thelonious Monk and you go, what the hell is that? These people are complicated. And it takes a bit of digging to sort of, okay. You sort of got to peel back the layers to sort of understand what is going on. I like that. Makes it intriguing. Tigger makes a good point here. Baker, Pace, and Mitchell were jazz musicians playing rock. Bonham couldn't play jazz, self-admitted. But Bonham had a great swing feel. Like, world-class swing feel. Hot God 10. Andrew, have you considered listening to Child in Time studio version from Deep Purple? I haven't yet, but we will get there. Deep Purple week. Too soon? Mean Metal Mike. Andrew, don't miss my comments. This is impossible, Mean Metal Mike. I get roasted for that. You didn't read out my comment. You didn't like my comment. It's not I don't like your comment. It's just the chat jumps around. Mean Metal Mike. Oh, Moon and Rudd comparison. No. Here's an interesting one for you. Moon not playing his hi-hats. So, rides and crashes. And Phil Rudd doesn't have a ride. just playing on the hi-hats. So they're like the complete opposite in that sense. Now that's another one, hi-hats. I keep hearing people say, oh, Moon was so unique he didn't use hi-hats. I've seen hi-hats in the videos. Are you saying that he doesn't use them as a riding surface and just uses them for pedals? Sort of a la jazz? I don't quite understand that yet. Maybe I haven't watched enough and figured out what's going on there. So he is... Lucy Mellon, you saw a hi-hat in the early video, but I saw one in the later video as well. I thought there were no hi-hats and he wasn't riding on them, but I saw a hi-hat clutch poking out above one of the drums, and then sort of as the video unfolded, he did have hi-hats. He wasn't hitting them with the stick though. Maybe it's just foot balance? But why? Because he's got two bass drums. I don't know. I need to look more into that. D. Scott Johnston, love you, Andrew. Gotta run. Ciao. I have to run as well. What do you guys think? Should we make these live videos a regular thing again? What does everybody think about that? I love the connection of the live video and getting to talk to you guys, getting to read out comments. I think it's good. Obviously my time is limited, so it would probably mean a reaction less per week from the time needed to schedule and organize a live chat. You guys probably have no idea how busy I am. It probably feels like I'm just a YouTube guy, but no. Javini, live is cool. Would you ever do a hybrid and show some video to react to? Would you ever do a hybrid? Not sure what that means. Like live reaction? Maybe. I would love to do a watch party. I think there's some of these, like Who documentary, what is it? The Kids Are Alright. Is that the Who doco? Live watch party? Watch a doco together? I think that'd be fun. Or like a live concert, you know, like a watch party. Yeah, watch party. Guys, Jangles, I know you... Springy, Jangles, you only just made it now. What's going on? I have to go. So this has been short and sweet. That's what she said. But I do have to go. I've got to take my boy out. And it's, yeah, it's time. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this live video. Let's try and make this a bit more regular. And I will catch you on the next video tomorrow, which is another Who one, 1978 live, Shepparton. And yeah, just thanks again for all the support. We made it to 125k subscribers. Man, I'm gonna take my boy out, get him an ice cream to celebrate. Guys, until tomorrow, take care. Ciao.